Hello and welcome back for a webinar on embryology. We are dealing with embryology these days and we have completed 3 episodes of webinar so far. And today is our fourth episode on embryology, rather basic embryology or general embryology. So I welcome you again for fourth episode today. Let us see what happens next because we are dealing in embryology just like a story. Yesterday we have completed the trilaminar disc and the development of embryo up to the stage of 2 months, 8 weeks. So on the first day we studied history of embryology and gametes and fertilization, and on the second day we studied morula, blastocyst and implantation related part, and also we studied formation of the germinal discs, especially the first two germinal layers, epiblast and hypoblast. And then we studied the trilaminar disc full up to the formation of you know uh, 3 layers of embryonic disc, and as well as the development of embryo as far as the pharyngeal apparatus is concerned, or what we call as pharyngeal arches and pharyngeal pouches that we studied yesterday. And today we will study fetal membranes and placenta. My students, remember one thing, that first 2 months are of embryo, so it is called as embryogenesis. And now the embryo is getting converted into fetus from third month onwards. So now it is a fetogenesis. So fetus requires various membranes for the support, which we have studied in the earlier part. But that little detail we will study today. And the main thing is placenta. You all know that. And what remains is twins and multiple birth and all miscellaneous part of embryology that we will study on the final day, that is tomorrow. So I welcome you for a fourth episode on fetal membranes and placenta. Okay. Now what are the fetal membranes? One is chorion. They are the membranes, okay? Chorion. And the next is amnion. And the next is yolk sac. And the next is allantois. And of course, one thing is remaining. What is that? Umbilical cord, okay, including placenta. It supports that umbilical cord, okay. And these are those things shown here in this picture. Where is amnion? Exactly where does a shock comes? Where does umbilical cord comes? Here is umbilical cord, and this is a placenta. And this balloon-like structure is a amnion. Amnion is a membrane which contains amniotic fluid. Okay, so remember those things properly. What that balloon-like structure is an amnion with amniotic fluid inside. So amnion is a membrane, and that is one of the membranes. So we have seen all those 5 membranes, and we'll proceed further with exactly what are these membranes. They are called as extra embryonic membranes because they are outside the embryo. So extra embryonic membranes. These membranes develop from the germinal layers itself, but they are not part of the embryo. Okay, so that they do not take part in formation of the human being as far as the fetus is concerned. They are lost at birth. So up to the birth they support. When the baby takes birth, they are lost. So that means they are, discarded. What? They lie outside the embryo and provide protection and nourishment to the embryo. Now, 4 exist in terrestrial vertebrates. All terrestrial vertebrates, the first 4, the Corian, Amnion, Allantois, and yolk sac. Okay, Corian, Amnion, Allantois, they store nitrogenous wastes in reptiles also. And yolk sac, which is not found in humans, but yolk aids in formation of RBC. The formation of extraembryonic membranes visible. They are usually visible after the 10th day of life of intrauterine life, you can say, after the conception. So amnion comes for the protection of embryo or fetus, and yolk sac comes early, which is early site of blood cell formation. The RBCs are formed there. This we have studied at the time of study of embryo. The formation of other 2 membranes like allantois, it is endodermal outpocketing near base of yolk sac and becomes a urinary bladder later on. A chorion is completely encloses the trophoblast. Diffusion between chorionic blood vessels and maternal blood in lacunae lined by sensitive trophoblast. The choriones exist. Well, we'll have some more information of each of them. So first we'll consider what is chorion, how it is formed. Secondary stem villus plus chorionic plate makes a chorion. Primary stem villus comes in second week with these two layers, outer sensitive trophoblast and inner cytotrophoblast. And chorionic plate is embryonic mesoderm plus trophoblast. This is how those things are formed. Secondary stem villus comes on third week, outer sensitive trophoblast for intermedial extra embryonic mesoderm plus inner cytotrophoblast. Tertiary stem villus comes at the end of third week, blood vessels. So anchoring villi, free villus, cytotrophoblast cell column into cytotrophoblast cell. Here you can see the picture of that. Primary stem villus at second week, second stem villus at third week, and tertiary stem villus at end of third week. Okay. Here also you can see the villus. Villus means finger-line projections. Okay. Here you can see this image. And evolvement of chorion adjacent to decidua capsularis is chorion life, and chorion frondosum is adjacent to decidua basalis. So decidua basalis is this portion here, and this is all decidua capsularis, and the remaining thing is a decidua parietalis that I have told at the time of implantation. So chorion live and chorion frondosum. Abnormality of chorion you get if the things go wrong, and those are called as hydatiform. Hydatiform is a what you call disease, you can say. Chorionic carcinoma is a cancer. So you don't want to go in abnormalities now because you're in first year. Now next membrane is a yolk sac, which comes in 5th to 6th week atresia, and these are the abnormalities in case if you get those in after birth life, like Michel's diverticulum, umbilical fistula. These are the abnormalities. Okay, primary blood vessels and primary germ cells you can seem to form. Now next is amnion. Amnion is an amniotic membrane, 0.2 to 0.5 millimeter. Okay, amniotic epithelium plus extra embryonic mesoderm, and it contains amniotic fluid about 500 to 1000 ml, 1 liter. Abnormalities above 500, less than 500 means oligohydramnios, what they call, and about 2000 is polyhydramnios. These are the diseases, these are the abnormal conditions during gestation in a womb of mother, depending upon how much amniotic fluid you have in an amnion. I have showed you the amniotic balloon that I showed, and it is for protection. Next is allantois. Allantois, it degenerates. Abnormality if it gives its urachal fistula. The two pairs of blood vessels, one umbilical one and one umbilical vein and one pair of umbilical artery. Actually, these are the contents of umbilical cord. Here you can see umbilical cord, which is around about 45 to 50 centimeter or 18 inches in the length. It contains one umbilical vein and two umbilical arteries plus degenerated yolk sac and allantois. So yolk sac and allantois in human beings, they get degenerated. Okay, whereas chorion and amnion, they remain covered with embryonic membrane. So this umbilical cord is also covered with amniotic membrane. Abnormality, if you get a very long umbilical cord, it is more than 80 centimeter. So we want only up to 50 centimeter or less than 35 is again abnormal, and it connects fetus with placenta. So it is very important. We should have normal umbilical cord. It is a connection between fetus and the placenta. Okay, here you can see those fetal membranes in this baby. A baby or a fetus is shown as the umbilical cord, and this is a placenta. You can see all chorionic villi, and you can see this amnion inside. Okay, some pictures more I'll show you later on. Now we'll go to placentation, the last part of fetal membranes after umbilical cord. So development of placenta from ages of blastocyst, we'll see. how this placenta, what is this placenta? It is an organ that forms from chorion and the endometrium. Endometrium is decidua. Decidua means where implantation take place on the endometrium, and allow the embryo fetus to exchange nutrients and waste. So O2, CO2, and food and nitrogenous waste products. So this is a because baby the fetus can't eat, and it has got intrauterine life. It depends wholly on its mother. So it's an organ that forms from the chorion and endometrium and allows the embryo fetus to exchange the nutrients and waste products. So also it is called as choriodeciduous structure. So deciduous because endometrium, that portion is decidua. That is why it is choriodeciduous structure. And chorionic villi provides surface area for access. The villi which I showed you, finger-like projections, those are for the purpose of exchange of uh, nutrient, exchange of gases that happens without actual blood exchange. So without actual blood exchange that takes place. And umbilical cord contains two umbilical arteries and one umbilical vein which is connected to the placenta. Here you can see placenta, exact how which part takes in the formation of placenta. It is called as chorio, means which part of chorion? Chorion frondosum. And which part of endometrium? Decidua basalis. So exact now the precise parts of the structures which take part in formation of placenta that I'm showing you. So it looks like a disc, or it looks like a cake, cake. So choriodeciduous means chorion frondosum plus decidua basalis form gives a shape of a disc of around 15 to 20 centimeter in a diameter. Okay. And it is also like a sandwich because there is a chorionic plate fetus, villi, and basal plate mother. So one side there is a chorionic plate, on the other side there is a basal plate, and in between there are villi. So it looks like a sandwich. Okay. And basal plate is made up of decidua plus sincitial trophoblastic cell and placental septa, because the placenta is not all communicated inside, but it has got divisions inside. So they're called septum. They're called septum, means too many of them. So septa, and septa will give that cake like structure, a cotyledonous do. So cotyledons, you get different cotyledons, incomplete cotyledon you get inside the placenta. And here is a image of placenta. It's a real placenta. I have taken it from internet. Actual placenta looks like this. Doesn't it look like a cake? Okay, this is a cake like, or you can also say like a disc, or you can also say like a sandwich. And this is an umbilical cord here, which contains one vein and two arteries. So vein carries oxygenated blood here in the exceptional case, and arteries carries venous blood. You know that, just like pulmonary arteries and pulmonary veins. And because it has to go from mother to fetus. So in case of mother, it is counted as vein and arteries. Here you can see same thing in a representational diagram. This picture shows you a fetus inside the amnion. This is amnion, amniotic cavity, and this is amniotic fluid inside where the baby floats, or the fetus floats, and that amniotic fluid is around about 1 liter, so less than 1 liter and more than half liter. And this is a placenta which is attached to the endometrium, that is decidua. So it is called as decidua, and this is the chorion here part, and this is umbilical cord. Well, to understand more about the internal structure of placenta, you should know some little things about this picture. If you see, here you can see this red color is umbilical vein. Okay, I am showing you umbilical vein because it is going away from placenta to baby. Placenta to baby, so it is umbilical vein because it is going from mother to baby, so it is called as a, so it carries oxygenated blood. And here you can see two umbilical arteries, blue color, and those are Okay, those are umbilical arteries. Okay, here you can see umbilical arteries, and these are the branches and tributaries, all of them. You can see the sections. So those are the cotyledons. Here you can see the deciduum basalis. You can see the placenta septum. This septum will give the cotyledon, one cotyledon, second cotyledon, third cotyledon, likewise. These are the septal arteries, and these are the uterine, so branches of uterine vein. So this is the structure, internal structure of placenta. And here you can see the structures between the blood of mother and fetus. Okay, and those are sensitive trophoblast, cytotrophoblast, and in basal lamina, connective tissue, endothelium, and its basal lamina. And it is placental membrane. Okay, it is meant for the protection. Here you can see fetal membrane. Now this fetal membrane is for exchange. You can see, no, sorry, structures on blood of mother and different parts: cytotrophoblast, cytotrophoblast, basal lamina, connective tissue, basal lamina, endothelium. This is more in details. Okay, and here you can see the nutriment and metabolic product. Okay. Now, what is the function of placenta? For the purpose of substance exchange, that is O2 nutriment and CO2 and waste. So take inside and take backside. And hormones are also produced by the placenta. So placenta is also endocrine organ because it produces hormones which are required to maintain the pregnancy, like SCG. SCG is a famous hormone, and that is called as human chorionic gonadotropin. Another is human placental lactogen, HPL. Another is human placental progesterone, HPP. Progesterone is also produced by ovary with the help of corpus luteum, and plus also by the placenta for further maintenance of pregnancy. But progesterone is required for the maintenance of pregnancy. Human placental estrogen is also produced. It's called HP. So these are the 1, 2, 3, 4 hormones produced by the placenta, and plus it is also made for exchange of substances, nutrients, and waste products, CO2 and nitrogenous waste product. Here you can see the placental functions in more detail. See, from mother to fetus, O2 is going, nutriment is going, and other thing, water, salt, and other, they are going from both ways. CO2 is going from fetus to mother, and metabolic waste is carried back to the mother, because mother is the is all, for all giving and taking, because baby is in the uterus. So the functions of placenta in more details. And there is a barrier between, there is one barrier between fetus and mother. It is called as it is for the purpose of obstructing certain things from going from mother to fetus. And what is not allowed to go is microorganism. Microorganism usually does not pass from mother to fetus. See, there is no way. Okay, and another thing is, most of the drugs, most of microorganisms, and they do not they still pass it. Microorganisms are barred, but drugs, certain drugs, they go to the fetus. Certain microorganisms, some like virus, they go, and the fetus gets affected. So this picture is showing you all that. Now, what are the functions related to the endocrine? HCG, corpus luteum and pregnancy. HCS, mammary gland. HPE from corpus luteum. HPP from corpus luteum. Corpus luteum is the remnant of what we call Graafian follicle after the ovulation, if the pregnancy takes place. So now pregnancy has taken place, so the corpus luteum is active. So when they come, the time is given 3rd week, 2nd month, 4th month, and 4th month, and fastigium is given 8th week, 8th week, 8th month, 8th month. So from 8th month onwards, they are not required for the purpose of maintenance of pregnancy. This is all for the maintenance of pregnancy for the period of 9 months. And by the time it is 20 weeks, the fetus will look like this. 20 weeks, 5 fours are 20, 5 fours are 20, 20 week. 20 week means almost 5 weeks, 5 months baby, 18.5 centimeter, and this is a 9 months baby shown in mother's womb in the uterus. So duration uh, of the intrauterine life is from so up to 28 38 weeks. So weeks 9 to 38 after conception until birth is duration, and major fetal events take place such as organs grow in size and complexity, that I'm repeating once again here. And now baby is ready to get delivered. You see the baby is now head down position, that means it's ready to get delivered. So after this phase, what happens is that labor. Labor means delivery. Labor because the woman who is pregnant goes into the labor because she gets pains and all that. And it is also called as delivery, and it is also called as parturition. So parturition is expulsion of fetus and placenta uh, due to fetal oxytocin rise. So there is a rise in fetal oxytocin. It is again another hormone, and that will give rise to the initiation of parturition. And parturition means delivery, means labor, means one and the same. And it is labor is in 3 stages. Okay, first is dilatation of cervix, second is expulsion of fetus, and third is expulsion of placenta. So it takes place in, it happens in almost three stages: stage of dilatation, stage of expulsion, and stage of placental expulsion. You can see cervix means cervix is the lower part of uterus which gets stretched or dilated, and then fetus comes out. After that, placenta comes out, and the process of labor gets completed. 22 weeks of gestation is absolute minimum to have a delivery. The 22 weeks, after 22 weeks, if the baby is expelled due to some reasons, it may live, it may be viable, it may remain live, but that is minimum. Before that, it is difficult to keep that fetus alive. But normally, it is 38 weeks of gestation required for the purpose of delivery. Okay, here you can see those stages. And after that, of course, this woman is ready with a baby for delivery. There's a pregnant woman here, and of course the delivery has taken place. You can see a baby, and you can clap your hands on that side but not on this side. Don't disturb others. Now baby and mother are both fine. Okay, this is what doctor gives a message to the people who gather at the site of labor room. And my dear friends, today's topic is over, and let us take a break. I told you that we are going to talk only about the what we call fetal membrane. So this was our today's topic, and with this we have ended today's topic. We'll come back tomorrow with another topic and the final topic, which is about the twins and multiple births and all the miscellaneous part which is related to uh, embryology. And my dear students, with this, I end today's webinar, and see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock with the last episode of embryology. Thank you. Have a nice day.